first documented history of Dublin begins with the Viking raids in the 8th and 9th century. These led to the establishment of a settlement on the south side of the mouth of Liffey, nicknamed Dublin or Blackpool, after the lake where the Danes first moored their boats. Despite stone fortifications, Dublin town was sacked many times over the next 2 centuries but always recovered. By the 11th century, Dublin prospered, mainly due to the close trading links with the English towns of Chester and Bristol, and soon became the most prominent town in Ireland, with a population of about 4,000. 1169 marked the beginning of 700 years of Norman rule. The King of Leinster, MacMorrough, enlisted the help of Strongbow, the Earl of Pembroke, to conquer Dublin. After MacMorrough's death, Strongbow declared himself King of Leinster, defeating both the Vikings and the High King of Ireland to win control of the city. However, the King of England, afraid Strongbow might become too powerful, pronounced himself Lord of Ireland and gave Dublin the merchants of Bristol. Dublin was devastated by fire in 1190 and a stone fortress built sometime in the 13th century. The first mayor was appointed in 1220. Following this, the city grew fast and had a population of about 8,000 by the end of the 13th century, prospering as a trade centre despite attack by the bloody Scots in 1317. In the 14th to 18th centuries, Dublin was incorporated with the English crown as the Pale and, for a time, was the second city of the British Empire. In 1537, a revolt occurred when the Lord Deputy of Ireland was executed in London. His son renounced English sovereignty and set out gathering an army to attack Dublin. However, he was defeated and, as a result, he was killed as well. Dublin continued to prosper in the 16th century and boasts one of the oldest universities in the British Isles, Trinity College, which was founded by Queen Elizabeth I. The city had a population of 20,000 in 1640 before the plague in 1650, which wiped out almost half the population. But the city prospered once again soon after the result of a wool and linen trade with the British, reaching a population of 60,000 in 1700. The city grew even more rapidly during the 18th century, with many famous districts and buildings added, such as Merrion Square, Parliament House and the Royal Exchange, later to become City Hall. The beginnings of the City Corporation, created in 1757, with a body of men formed to widen, pave, lighten and clean the streets. Ireland's famous Guinness stout was first brewed in 1759, and a stagecoach service to other towns began. The Grand Canal was built in 1779 and a police force established in 1786. Towards the end of the century, O'Connell Bridge and Killingham Gowl had been built, and by 1800 the population had swollen up to 180,000. However, this population brought with great poverty and great disease. The 19th century brought the construction of gasworks and the introduction of street lighting, but overall Dublin suffered a steep political and economic decline, with the seat of government to move into Westminster in 1800 under the Act of Union. Things were to change dramatically in the 20th century with the 1916 Easter Rising, the War for Independence, and the subsequent Civil War, which eventually led to the establishment of the Republic of Ireland. Oh, shut up, you blackguard! This is important. As the seat of the English administration, Dublin was the setting for the many key events during the Irish struggle for independence, and you will find a number of historic buildings, such as the General Post Office on O'Connell Street, Dublin Castle and Killingham Gowl, where history really does come alive. Since the mid-1990s, an economic boom christened the Celtic Tiger brought massive expansion and development to the city, including the creation of Dublin's newest landmark, the Spire Monument on O'Connell Street. Fueled by the boom years, Dublin has grown to be the single largest congregation in the Greater Ireland. Some 1.2 million people live in the Greater Dublin area. That equals 28% of the country's total population of 4.2 million. The boom brought many new ethnic groups into the city and created a more international feeling, particularly in the North Inner City. Ireland has fallen on hard times in the recent months, but Dublin is, if anything, more vibrant than ever.
1, 2, 1, 2.